friends, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm sharing a few intentional rhythms that I've implemented over my years of being a mom to littles to help me slow down and be more present with my kids. I think a lot of us probably don't want to admit it, but I think this is a struggle that a lot of moms struggle with, trying to balance getting things done around the house and also slowing down to be present with our kids. If that's you, this video is for you. If you're new around here, hi, I'm KyAnn. I'm a wife and mom of 3 kiddos, currently 4 and under. My heart behind my channel is to share motherhood encouragement, intentional rhythms to help busy moms find more peace and routine in their days, and share peeks into my homemaking and simple living journey along the way. I love sharing what we're learning and what we've implemented in our homesteading journey so far, and just getting back to the basics and learning a lot of old-fashioned skills that have really been lost in recent generations. We love to prioritize that as a family, and it's something that really does help us to slow down and enjoy time together as a family, so that's something that I love sharing from that perspective as well. If you like that kind of thing, I'd love for you to subscribe and join this YouTube family and follow along. As a busy mom who's passionate about a lot of different things, it can often feel like I'm constantly getting whiplash from going back and forth between thing to thing to thing constantly. And if I'm not careful, I can easily get so focused on all of my tasks and responsibilities that I'm not taking the time that I desire to slow down, be in the moments with my children, and just experiencing life with them and through their eyes. Taking the time to slow down and experience things with them, experience just playing with them, seeing what lights them up, seeing what they're interested in, letting them ask questions and be curious, and just taking that time to slow down and be fully present in the moment. Today's video is actually a collaboration with my sweet friend Amy from the YouTube channel Amy Harris, and I actually found her here on YouTube just as a viewer. I was scrolling through some channels and I saw her channel recommended, so I went and checked it out and I started following along. And after watching just a few videos, I reached out to her personally because I just loved her content so much, and we instantly connected and we started brainstorming about doing a collaboration together because I knew that you guys would love her channel just as much as I have and get so much out of it. So we started brainstorming and we are collaborating, sharing some ideas for being more present with our kids. Amy is also a mom of 3 little kids, and she shares lots of homemaking, biblical motherhood. She shares natural living tips, and she also lives on a homestead as well, so she shares peeks into her homestead life. Also, she has a milk cow, which is like, you know, the dream. But her life is just so beautiful. She finds so much beauty in the mundane, and the way she documents her time as a stay-at-home mom with her kids so beautifully and just so purposefully in fulfilling her calling as a stay-at-home mom is just, it's so beautiful to witness. So I know that you guys are going to get so much from her channel. I'm so excited for you to check her out. Definitely let her know that I sent you her way, and I know you guys are going to love her just as much as I do. We prayed for these babies and dreamed of these days through our struggle with infertility for years before having our first baby. And if I'm being honest, there are certainly days that the struggle of trying to balance everything well, shepherd my children's hearts well, and point them to Jesus day by day, and just the practical responsibilities that come with having lots of little kids can feel more like a burden than a blessing. And that is not a heart posture that I'm proud of or that I want to stay in. I'm just being transparent about where I have been at certain points in my motherhood journey. And so getting really intentional to slow down and prioritize creating these rhythms to help my brain slow down and truly just be more present with my kids throughout the day was honestly a necessity for me. I don't know if you resonate with any of that, and maybe your story looks a little bit different, but maybe you're finding yourself in a similar space as well. You don't want to wish away these days of having little kids. You know that you're going to miss these days someday, but also that you need some guidance in how to practically help yourself slow down and embrace these special moments with your kids. The first thing that I want to share about is letting your kids help just throughout the day. This is something that I feel like has taken some time for me to really embrace, honestly, because I'm a person that is just very efficiency minded. I like to make to-do lists. I like to cross things off the list. I like to make sure that I'm being the most productive and efficient that I can be with the time that I have. And inviting kids in to help you with just everyday things around the house definitely means laying some of those things aside. It means that a lot of tasks do take longer. It means slowing down to teach them and show them along the way how to properly do things, even things as simple as, you know, getting ingredients out and pouring them into a bowl, showing them how to do that without splattering things everywhere. It means that often things are messier as well, and so that requires some time to obviously then clean up the messes, and sometimes it means more dishes are involved and all of those things. It definitely means carving out more time to slow down, to embrace the process of letting them help. Obviously, there are so many benefits in letting them help. This is something that we are not homeschooling yet. My oldest is 4, and so we've started doing a few things here and there as far as like preschool kind of things, but mostly we really focus on just learning things around the house and around our homestead. There are so many skills, even just in the kitchen alone, that you can learn so much. I mean, math and using different cooking skills, learning how to cut things, learning practical skills, even learning like letter recognition and number recognition, just so many things that you can learn even just from cooking, but also bringing them along in our garden and preserving food and bringing them along to help care for our animals and teaching them about that. Even just going on walks and noticing nature and talking about how these things are made, how the Lord created all of these things that are in nature. Interrupting this video really quick to tell you guys about my brand new course, Simple Rhythms for Busy Moms. If you are a stay-at-home mom or work from home mom that is craving more routine and rhythm in your daily life as a mom, this course is for you. This is literally why it was created. If you feel like you struggle with being present with your kids and being intentional throughout the day, if you feel like you're just running around like a chicken with your head cut off, trying to get everything done, trying to get everything on your to-do list crossed off in time before bedtime comes, and you feel like you just can't focus and actually get down to the root of what is most important to you, to actually go through the day with a plan, to know what you need to accomplish, and to feel like you have enough peace and margin in your day to really slow down and savor those moments with your kids. Because we all get told over and over again how fast these years fly by when we have little kids, but there's not a clear roadmap or guide that shows you, how do I actually slow down? How do I slow down and still get things done? How can I build more routine into my days as a stay-at-home mom? Because obviously we have a lot of flexibility as stay-at-home moms, but I found building flexible structure into your days just brings so much more intention to how you're spending your time, and it helps both you and your kids to just thrive that much more. And we're not made to just survive, we are made to thrive, and that is why I created my course. It gives you a step-by-step guide on kind of just resetting the chaos in motherhood that we can so easily fall into. So it gives you a guide on how to create more routine in your days, how to get things done in less time, how to set up systems and rhythms in your life to help your life really flow on autopilot, so things that are most important to you are getting done and being managed well, but you also are getting your time back to actually spend that time with the people that matter most to you. If any of that is tugging at you and feels like something that you need, I encourage you to go check out the link in my description. I'll leave a link down below so that you can go get more information. It has everything itemized out so you can see everything that's included in the course, from meal planning and grocery shopping to cleaning your house and creating intentional, purposeful moments with your kids throughout each day to just really slow down and savor the time that you have with them. It covers so much more than that. So that's just a brief overview for you, and if that is something that you want to make a priority in 2024, definitely head to the link in the description. There's a coupon code that's just exclusive for my YouTube family as well, so you can use that coupon code and jump right in, and I cannot wait to see how this course helps you. I have to be really intentional to let them help, and that alone really does help me slow down, because when I intentionally decide, okay, you know what, I could make this breakfast on my own and I could do it, 5 times faster, and we wouldn't have any mess, and it would be done, and we'd be ready, and we'd move on through our day. But choosing to let them come into it when they really want to help, they have at least my kids have such a desire to help at the ages that they are at. They are so eager to learn. They want to help in any way that they can, and that is so fun to them. Like, that is so exciting to just have mom let them come in and help cook and make cookies together or make whatever I'm doing, like even just folding laundry. They have such a desire to help. I've just really found that letting them help and embracing that it's going to take longer and just having my expectations set beforehand really does help me to be more present with my kids as well, because we're having conversations while they're helping or learning things together, and it just opens them up to have conversations too. I think when you're busy with your hands, often a lot of conversations can lead to deeper conversations than you would think would come out of even toddlers' mouths. But we've had a lot of really deep, intentional conversations when we were just focused on cooking together. So that's the first thing that I would encourage you in. I'm not saying that you have to let them help with every single task all the time. There are definitely times that I need to focus on something and get it done quickly, and they are playing in the other room or doing something else. But I think just inviting them to help more often for me has been something that has helped me to be more present with them throughout each day. Because the household responsibilities have to get done every day. I have to do those things. And so it's just something that I can bring them along with my life. I can teach them skills alongside of that and enjoy quality time at the same time. This really helps build a foundation that we do things together as a family, that we help each other, that we find joy in serving each other and doing tasks alongside each other to help make our lives easier and just more enjoyable. This next rhythm that I'll share is truly a daily rhythm for me. This is something that if I'm being consistent in our routines, this rhythm is one that changes our days every single day. This has made such an impact for me, and that is setting aside 15 minutes of intentional, focused time with my kids. So what I mean by that is I think it's really easy to go through the day and to be living life together, even like what I was talking about, letting the kids help, which can be intentional focus time depending on how you're setting it up and, you know, the different things that your kids specifically enjoy doing and all of that. But I set aside 15 minutes of time where I just play with my kids in some way. So that can look a lot of different ways. It could be letting one of the kids pick out their favorite toy and we just sit together and we all play with that toy together. Some days it's reading books together. Some days it's going outside and doing a fun activity, setting up like a sensory activity and sitting there and playing with them with it for 15 minutes. And I know that that can sound like kind of silly almost, like 15 minutes. You're only spending 15 minutes intentionally focusing on your kids a day. And of course, there are many moments throughout the day that I'm focusing on them as well outside of this. But I found that as a mom, it was really easy to get to the end of the day and look back over the day and be like, okay, when was I fully present with my kids today? And thinking about, when did I not have my phone in my hand? When was I not listening to a podcast in the background while I was getting tasks done? When was I not mentally focusing on my to-do list and what I needed to accomplish for the rest of the day while they were trying to tell me something? And I was just finding that a lot of days I got to the end of the day and realized that I hadn't had any time that I was intentionally just focusing on them and being there with them and present with them. And again, there is grace. There are still days that this does not happen, where I am not intentional to prioritize this. But creating it as a daily rhythm that regularly is a consistent part of our days has really changed a lot, because it helps my kids to play better independently, honestly, because when I'm starting an activity and I'm sitting there playing with them first, I find that they actually play a lot better after that. But it also just fills their cup up. This is something that we try to do in the morning, so I'll spend some time earlier in the morning specifically playing with them, interacting with them, just being fully focused with them. And some days it's longer than 15 minutes. You know, that can easily last longer, and if you have the capacity in that day to do that, then wonderful. Like, obviously there's no limits here, but I think 15 minutes was something that was really doable for me, that I was really attainable. So when I set it as a goal, I knew I could achieve it. And then it becomes a habit much quicker if you're finding that it's something that's really doable, that you can cross off the list day after day, and you just get that success in your mind of, okay, I did it. And then it just becomes habit over time. And my kids love this. So this is a really big one for us, is just making sure that we have that 15 minutes each morning to intentionally slow down together and focus on something that they enjoy doing. The next thing that I want to talk about is leaving margin in your day. And specifically in the video right now, I'm showing my quiet time. And so this is something that is really essential to me as a mom, to make sure that I get my quiet time in. I actually really prefer to get this in first thing in the morning before my kids wake up, to just really set my day off on the right tone. But I think leaving margin in your day in general is so helpful. So, and what I mean by that is just not structuring every second of the day to where you need to be accomplishing something. So you're gonna have things that you need to accomplish. You're gonna have things on your to-do list every day. That's just a reality of life. But leaving enough time in there that you can have time to slow down with your kids. And specifically, something that's helpful for me is making sure that I have some time, even if I am like doing laundry or doing dishes or something like that, making sure that I leave some time that I'm not just listening to something in the background. I don't know if everyone is like this, but I very easily can want to turn on a podcast or turn on a show on my phone, like a YouTube video or something that I'm kind of listening to in the background as I'm accomplishing tasks. And sometimes that's really helpful, especially for tasks that I've been putting off and procrastinating on. Sometimes just having a podcast or something to listen to can kind of give me the motivation and push that I need to just get started on it. But I can also easily let it turn into me having some background, something going on throughout the entire day. And so I found that carving out some time where even if I am doing other tasks, but I don't have other noise aside from maybe like some soft instrumental music or something like that going on, really leaves a lot more room for me to have conversations with my kids and just be present. Where if my kid comes in and wants to show me something that they're playing with, because we really prioritize independent play, so they have a lot of times when I'm getting things done and they're playing with their siblings in the other room with some sort of toy. And if they come in and they're wanting to show me some new skill that they learned or something that they built with their toys, and I have a podcast on or a show, I can really easily get annoyed and frustrated and just say, oh yeah, that's so cool, and kind of like push them off and get back to what I was doing. And if I am leaving time during the day that I am not having noise on in the background, I've found that I'm much more patient and just present in the moment. When they come in, when I don't have something on in the background that I'm focusing on, where my attention is elsewhere, and they want to show me a toy, then I'm much more likely to pause what I'm doing, just leave it entirely, go into the other room and sit down with them and let them really show it to me. Let them explain it to me and show me why they're so excited about it and what they've learned. And that creates so many more moments of connection for us, special moments for me as a mom, because I want to see that. I want to encourage them in the skills that they're learning. I want to be there to cheer them on. I want to be their biggest cheerleader. I don't want them to feel like they are a burden, that anytime they interrupt me when I'm doing something that I'm just pushing off. And this is being really transparent and vulnerable, but that is something that, as someone who really does naturally lean into just being as efficient as possible, that's something that in my motherhood journey I have really struggled with, that of just being very task focused and feeling like my kids were interrupting me when I was in the middle of trying to accomplish something. My kids are not an interruption. My kids are an absolute blessing, and it is the privilege of my life to be blessed with them in my home, to have healthy kids that I get to raise, to point them to Jesus day by day, to get to be a part of their life and seeing them learn all of these skills, practical life skills, learning and growing in their faith and developing relationships with Jesus and what they're learning about the Bible, and just watching their little hearts change over time in all of these areas. That is an incredible blessing and privilege, and motherhood truly is a beautiful calling and a worthwhile ministry of just shepherding your kids' hearts every single day. And I have to very intentionally set up boundaries in my life so that I remember that, so that I remember how grateful I am to have them, so that I remember that motherhood is one of my highest callings in life. And pointing my kids to Jesus every day is a beautiful way that I can bring glory to the Lord, and just making those boundaries to keep myself in check. One really sweet thing that we've been doing recently that I just feel like has been fostering more connection and more intentional conversations about the Lord as well, which is really important to me as a Christian mom, is sharing what I learned in my quiet time that day with my kids. And this is actually new for me. I heard an older mom of older kids that shared that every day after she has her quiet time during breakfast, she sets aside some time and she just shares with her kids what she specifically was reading. She kind of obviously translates that depending on their age, but then she shares just what the Lord taught her during that time and what really spoke to her and stood out to her. I thought that was a really encouraging and inspiring just rhythm to make a part of your day, because one, it's just another level of accountability to make sure that you're getting your quiet time in each day. If your kids are in the mindset of learning what you learned, I think it's just another layer, which is sometimes helpful if you're struggling to have that time with the Lord every day, which all of us fall into seasons like that. I think it's just another level of accountability, which is always good. But I also think it's a really natural way to weave conversations about the gospel and the Lord into your daily life. I was finding that as a mom of little kids, we would do our Bible reading before bedtime and talk through that. But then a lot of times, we're getting them to bed a little later than we thought, so we're kind of almost rushing through the Bible story, or we don't have as much time to have these full conversations. And we would do scripture memory in the mornings, which is a really awesome rhythm that we still really love doing. But I was struggling with just how to weave more conversations about the gospel. I wanted something really consistent where I could dive deeper with my kids and just make that a regular part of our lives, a practical way to do that. And I feel like this has really helped us. It's opened up some amazing conversations with my kids, especially my 4-year-old is really starting to understand a lot more, and she's starting to remember huge pieces of Bible stories and grasp things in ways that I would not expect her to after talking about a Bible story one time. It's just been really cool to see how that has impacted their heart, and it's been actually really natural to weave into our day. So that's an encouragement that I would share that I learned from an older, more experienced mom that has been really beneficial to me and opened up a lot of really intentional conversations and just good moments of connection as well. Just sharing what I'm learning, modeling to them a relationship with the Lord looks like, what that can practically look like, even telling them things that I'm struggling with and that I'm praying through and how the Lord is blessing that to my heart. I think just seeing real life examples, often we think that kids can't understand so much of that, but really they can understand so much more than we think. And laying the foundation at a young age really sets them up with a strong foundation of just putting the Lord first and looking to Him daily for guidance and just everything we need. So I wanted to share that in this video as well. I hope this video was encouraging in some way, that you found some rhythms that you might want to slowly implement into your daily life to just help you intentionally connect with your kids more and be more present. I know as busy moms that so many of us just struggle with focus and knowing where to put our time and knowing what to get done and how to get it done. And ultimately, these kids are only in our home for such a short season, and getting to experience life with them, seeing life through their eyes, getting to slow down and just experience the joy and magic that kids see life through it brings so much beauty to our lives, so much gratitude, and we can learn so much from our kids as well. And so I found that implementing these rhythms has really helped me to slow down as a mom and just prioritize what is truly most important to me. So I hope that this encouraged you in some way, and make sure to go check out my friend Amy's video so that you can learn some more tips on being present with your kids from her video. I know you guys are gonna love it, so I wanted to mention it one more time before we left this video so that you could go check out her take on how to be more present with your kids. If you are new around here, I would love for you to subscribe before you leave and leave a comment to say hello. I'd love to know how many kids you have and how old they are, and if anything in this video was encouraging to you. And if you're not new around here, thank you so much for joining me for another video, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Bye, friends.